for this?
Views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
All right. We are back. Once again, the big clock on the wall says 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It is Monday, and it means it is time for another installment of Southern Nevada Sports News, coming to you live from Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corp.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap
and
Brett Price.
All right, and just a quick shout out to our prognosticator from Cleveland, who normally joins us every Monday. George Jorge Mish fortunately he's a bit under the weather. In fact, he's actually in the hospital. So just a quick shout out to George. We miss you, buddy. And he's actually going to be out here in October. So whatever it is, he was going to take care of. He wanted to make sure that he was good to go. So let's just a quick shout out and say, hope you get better soon, man.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So, gentlemen, once again, coming off of another wild and woolly NCAA week 3, and another absolutely mind-boggling week 2 in the NFL.
Definitely.
And I'll just go ahead and throw myself immediately on the sword. I really came in
I'm piled
a
right
little
on
weak
top of
on my
you.
picks, especially for Sunday. And we're going to start with the NCAA because there were definitely some surprises there, although one of us did awfully well. In fact, went 7-1. And no, I'm sorry, it was Jeff, the Wildcat Belknap on the other end. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, yeah, and
Feeling good
Now
about
fade
that.
him this week.
Yeah.
Fade him this
I'm
week.
not fading.
Coming
gaining
off
momentum,
coming
baby.
off 7-1, it's a 1-7. So you
No,
fade him.
that will not happen.
Just joking, buddy.
yeah, but I mean, there were some absolutely huge games. One of which, our gentleman here in the middle, Brett, his Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yep.
Went down to Oklahoma and just
Smashed.
really
Played
did
really
a number
well.
on it. That 1 point expand, or was it actually at 1.5 points?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was right.
yeah, it
hung around there.
disappeared pretty quick.
Yeah, hung around there, and they jumped on him pretty fast, and
Yeah.
never looked back.
Even with about an hour and a half
Yeah,
weather delay for
Definitely.
lightning.
Which I appreciated that a little bit because I checked my app to see if the weather was going to affect the over/under, and it dropped like 5 points, and I jumped on it at 59.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way
Well, there were
above that.
clearly some storms roaming through
Yeah.
Oklahoma because the same thing happened with the
Pitt,
Oklahoma State game over in
Yeah.
nearby Stillwater.
Yeah.
That game, I think it was finally took like 5 hours to complete.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was,
I mean, that game
and
actually
it was
started.
it got the lightning delay and was tied at 38
yeah.
in the fourth quarter. So that'd be a tough one there. At least Ohio State and Oklahoma didn't have to start the game and then go sit for a few hours or something like that. So Oklahoma State ended up prevailing in that 45-38. So
So, which game stands out to you two guys? I mean, as far as like the let's first start with, and we're going to start with you, Mr. Know-It-All.
Well, the game that stood out to me the most was Louisville. Louisville absolutely put the smack down on Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the over in that game, which was one of my wins. I was not ready for that. I mean, I wasn't ready for a complete destruction of Florida State. I really thought the game was going to be a shootout. I figured it was going to be in the 30 to 35 each, which would give me the over. 62 points.
Well, I know
it
we
just
weren't,
really were hammering them.
but I suspect Florida State, they weren't ready to get the manhandle. And how bad does that loss affect Mississippi?
It's
a
gotta
team
be
that they
tough for
led by 21,
Yeah.
lose, and then this team goes into Louisville and gets beat by 43.
Right. I mean, if you
By
look you mentioned Mississippi. You look at them. The 2 games they've lost, they've led by 3 touchdowns in each game. They've lost both games.
I had no dog in that fight. Okay, but that's a lie. I did. I'm sorry. I did pick Alabama. Mea culpa. But I'm sitting there. They're up by 21, and I'm thinking, well, all right. Well, that's what I get for taking Alabama. And I just knew that Alabama was going to come out, especially after losing last year,
Yeah.
swinging.
It was surprising.
And doing a number
the
on
start
it.
of the game, I didn't watch. I was watching another game and I flipped it over and Mississippi was already up. I'm like 14-0. I'm like, what is going on?
And it didn't get much better.
No. And well, what that did to me, that triggered. I'm going to William Hill. I'm going in-game app, and I'm going to look what Alabama's getting. I got Alabama at 2.5.
Fantastic.
At 2.5, bet
Which
So-
is why you need an app.
Yes.
But we're not mentioning William Hill
Oh,
because we've been trying to get them as a partner. They're not coming up,
gotcha,
so
gotcha.
It's WH from now on.
WH, got you, got it.
And if you're listening to the show, I want you to take note. We will not mention your name again.
WH.
WH.
Oh, you know, and I'm thinking then, okay, this one's going to go by the wayside. Then it's suddenly 21.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then 24-3. And I'm thinking, all right, you know, so let's start licking my wounds already. Alabama comes back. And I should have known based on Mississippi's track record this year and on being unable. But I figured they're at home, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big touchdown was the was it a punt return or kick return right before half? It got the momentum kind of
Yeah.
switched over, and then Alabama come right back out and scored quick again. Kind of took control of the game. Got up 18, and then Mississippi came back on them, and
So here I am feeling absolutely fantastic. I don't believe this game's actually turning around in my favor because it was 10 points, I believe.
I think it was got up to 18. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game went off at 11.5.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking 18 points. What can happen?
Yeah.
I turn the channel, and I come back, and I'm going like, "Whoa, wait a minute!
Yeah.
Was there like a typo or something? Or did I
They scored
suffer
2
a blow to
touchdowns
the
in 7
head?"
seconds.
Yeah.
They got the touchdown, and then they got the onside kick. Perfect onside kick. It was unbelievable. And then first play they throw one up, and they
And
score
that
again,
pick
and-
six, which was odd by any standards. I mean, it was sort of like he knocked his arm,
Yeah.
and then one of the slowest defensive linemen on Alabama scoops it up. He's rumbling. He's got 5 players around him, guard, and then as they get to about the 20, they just start celebrating. This Mississippi player comes flying in on the wing
Yeah.
and grabs him about the 10. I'm thinking he's going to take him down.
Yeah.
He had enough strength to still carry into the end zone.
Luckily he was 270, and the other guy was 170.
Yeah.
So-
And he could have bench pressed
Yeah.
with just one arm, this one
yeah,
guy.
definitely.
But another wild and woolly finish.
Oh, yeah.
And what does this do to Ole Miss's chances, at this point?
They're being 1 and 2, and they've played 2 of the better teams in the country. Florida State and Alabama. SEC West, which is going to be tough no matter what. But I think they're okay. I think they're going to be fine. I still think they're going to win about 9 games out of this. They got a big game this week with Georgia, which I think at home, which I think they win. They're given 7 points, with the line that came out today. And Georgia's coming, hasn't played that well, and they're playing their back-to-back road game. So I'm looking at that scenario. Mississippi playing 2 home games in a row, Georgia on the road 2 in a row.
Yep.
So I kind of like looking
Yeah.
at that. I kind of like the Ole Miss there, given 7 at home against a Georgia team that really hasn't shown too much. So
Well, it was a better week for the SEC as opposed to that first big week.
yeah,
Yeah.
And, but the other big game, I think, Ohio State, Oklahoma. And, I have to say that Ohio State's freshman just really, if this is, what he has to settle for this year, you can only imagine what's coming up the next couple of years.
they were impressive. Just
Of course they are.
taking control of the game.
Come on, coming
I
from
mean,
you,
Big
I'm
Ten.
like,
So,
for me,
I
honestly,
really would be shocked by anything.
being
less
I didn't know what to expect going in there. I really didn't. I didn't know how we would react, and I felt good about JT Barrett leading our team. Got some young kids up front, couple veterans. How the mix, loud stadium, first road game for all these young kids, and they answered the bell.
And arguably the touchdown catch of possibly the decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Noah Brown. He had 4 catches, 4 touchdowns. I mean,
Well, and where the coverage was,
Oh.
you can't blame the defender in any way, shape, or form.
Nope.
And then, of course, the last one I think was just for, let's just do this one for fun.
Yeah.
You know, you turn around to me, I'll pin it against your back and
That was-
control
And
it.
hug you.
Yeah, and hug you and control
hug you
you.
and score a touchdown. So, and I was impressed with Ohio State's defense. You know, they during the week, you know, had a little bulletin board material from the backup quarterback from Oklahoma saying the defense was basic.
Well, they won't allow him to make any quotes.
No, that's already been
for the rest of
said
his
today by Bob
tenure at
Stoops.
Oklahoma.
So, but yeah, the defense flew around. We were the speed of Ohio State compared to Oklahoma was very visible, and I feel really good about the Buckeyes coming out of that game.
Absolutely,
and
should.
we're just going to get better.
And of course for the Detroit kid over here, Michigan and
Little
Michigan
scared.
State. A little scared by Michigan, but
Yeah.
Got
Got to shoot slow. Yeah,
Yeah, a
Little
little
slow
bit.
coming
which
out
helped
of
me
the
on the
chute.
app again.
But
WH app again.
yeah.
I got him at 4.5.
Well, the thing about that particular game is, if you watched last week's show, I did call that.
yeah.
Actually, I did get a little afraid because I actually did bet it.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, and I was a little because the way the game was going, I was like, man, they might mess me up and cover this game, but they didn't. And going into this week, I don't think they're going to cover again.
Penn State. They play Penn State at home.
Big Penn State laying 19 points at home. The way that Harbaugh set up the schedule is pretty unique.
Yeah.
They got 5 home games to start the season. This will be the 4th one. I might think that they might overlook a little bit because they play Wisconsin next week. Penn State not as good of a team. Might want to take Penn State plus the points. I'm not sure if I'm going to bet that one. I was like sweating the one this week.
There's one of those you just kind of like see what's going to happen with it
Yeah.
because that could go either way. Because Michigan's a very public team. Penn State's kind of public team. A lot of alums and stuff like that. So you kind of wait till Wednesday to see where that line kind of goes. And then,
It's already going up. So.
yeah, it went up already. But
So if you like Penn State, you might want to wait.
yeah.
Just like this. I mean, this game last week was coming down pretty hard. Where I saw it as down as low as 18
Yeah.
or 17.
17.5.
Yeah.
And then your other Michigan State pulled up.
Michigan State, I took that plus the points.
They
plus 7.
they impressed me.
I waited till the last minute. I was kind of thinking about that game, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on this one. So I took that one, and then right at the same time, I took Texas.
Did you get 8 or 7.5?
I actually got 7.
Did you? Oh,
Yeah.
7.
7.
Oh,
Because the score, looking at the score, it's a close game. It really wasn't a close game. Michigan
no.
State dominated that game.
Well, they I know that that Notre Dame scored a late touchdown. Unfortunately, I was working at the time, so I didn't get
Yeah.
to yet. I pulled a George, bet on the game, then look at the score. At the
There
end.
you go.
Don't look at the game.
No, they looked really good. I mean, with the delay of the Ohio State game, so I got to watch a lot of the first half of that one for sure. And Michigan State would, to my surprise, look really good. 'Cause I thought they're kind of down a little bit this year, but nope, they're not.
It's coaching, man.
It's D'Antonio too,
Yeah.
underdog. He's pulled the upset like 12 times in the last 16 games as an underdog.
Yeah.
straight underdog.
So one more game, shocker to me, North Dakota State.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that?
Here's
Here's a Division 2A team going into Big Ten school, Iowa.
which means you're usually cannon fodder.
Yeah. exactly.
It's an
line was
opportunity
14
for
in
the
that
school to
game.
pick up a large
The
check.
line,
and-
the line was
yeah.
14.
Well, you're talking about a defending champ in Division
5
2.
time.
Yeah.
5
I mean,
time.
you're not talking
defending
about
champ.
some chump
No,
school.
that's
They're definitely a program that's actually getting guys in the NFL. They at least
Carson
getting
Wentz.
guys looks. Yeah, and I was like, I really wanted him to make the kick at the end of the game. I was
Oh,
like, I hope he hits this,
absolutely.
just for like that whole shocker of everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It was good to see. I mean, I hate to see Big Ten teams go down like that, especially teams that are in the
it's-
top 10 or top,
I actually
what were they, 11
seen
at the time.
somebody posted. I can't remember. It was the ESPN guy posted his rankings for the week, and he had North Dakota State at ranked 23rd.
Really?
Yeah, he had him to rank 23rd.
23rd.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
believe that.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to see a lot of these teams definitely in the bottom of the top 25. I think that's going to be like a what do they call that? A crab race? Or whatever?
Well,
trying to race yourself out of
Yeah.
the pot.
Yeah. How about did you you guys watch any of the Nebraska-Oregon game?
That was kind of back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth game. But the crazy thing is, Nebraska ends up being a push because it was 3. They won 35-32. But Oregon scores 5 touchdowns and goes for 5 2-point conversions.
Yeah, no extra
No
points.
extra
Yeah.
points. They went, and I'm sure
You
that
have to
irritated
really
a lot
wonder.
of people that took Oregon.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's a team that is now, kind of irritating a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's no longer that swagger, that Oregon used to have going into any place and playing anyone. It was almost like there was this mystique about them.
Yeah.
They're going to put up 60, 70 points without thinking about it. And it is no longer there.
Right.
And it was another game. I think there was a significant delay, if I'm not mistaken, with the weather.
I don't remember.
It seemed like games that were like circulating through that area
Yeah.
there.
Right in
There
the-
were
right
these
in the
huge
Midwest
lightning
there.
delays.
Yeah.
But hats off to Nebraska.
Yeah.
And of course,
That's a big win.
Big
They
Ten.
lost those games last
another
year.
big win for
No,
the Big
so-
Ten.
Yep.
Over the weekend.
I thought another team I looked impressive was Miami going up to App State.
That wasn't even a shock. Did you listen to the show last week?
Huh?
We know you skipped last week because you weren't feeling well.
No.
But did you listen to the show?
No.
That was mine and George's game of the week.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's easy. It was 3.5, but they went up there at 3.5. So
I actually got it at
So
3.
you're telling 3.5. So the Vegas is telling you it's going to be a close
Yeah,
game.
that was
It's 45-10.
Jeff and
I
George,
actually when
George's
I
lock.
saw that game, I was like, I bet it on Monday.
Yeah.
And then I bet it again on Friday. I couldn't believe it was still where it
Well,
was.
it's just the so-called experts thought it was going to be a close game, and it wasn't even close at all.
no, there
I
was
watched that.
there were
Yeah.
it was
Wasn't
they
even
just
close at all.
demolished them.
So-
It was good to watch.
Yeah, and it was. I was a little bit surprised. I really thought that Appalachian State might kind of make a stand. They knew this was going to be a nationally televised game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they got handed.
no,
They
it
couldn't- they
didn't
couldn't
bother
control 'em
Miami at all
at all.
whatsoever.
At all.
Oh
And
my
then
goodness.
The big Pac-10 game last week was Stanford SC, and Stanford looked good.
They did.
Looked
McCaffrey
really
is.
strong.
Each and every game he just
Yeah.
gets better and better.
He's
But of
just
course,
for-
Jackson now with Louisville has kind of become
Yeah,
front
he
and center,
became the front runner
leading
for the
Heisman
now.
candidate.
Did you see Michael Vick's tweet?
Yeah,
Michael, this guy is better than me.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and that's a compliment coming
like-
from.
Oh, that
the,
is.
the,
He's
ru-
Michael
the,
Vick 2.0.
He's the reigning rushing champion for most yards rushing as a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he's
And-
saying that this guy is better than him.
And it's like watching a video game.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
It's scary though. He's not very big.
Well, I saw the way. I mean, clearly he was going to have fun at Syracuse, but I really thought that this might be just kind of a defining moment. I obviously thought it was going to be a much closer game, but Florida State, number 2 team loses by 4, gives up 63 points.
Yeah, I
great.
mean it wasn't even close. I turned the
I
game
love
to
the
half.
over. I actually bet it and then bet it again.
Mr.
Like,
Over.
I love that. Okay, so 2 more things. I got 2 more games for you. Well, I got a couple games. So let me throw a couple games out there for this week. I love LSU minus 3.5. I think that
Auburn.
first game is kind of keeping them back against Wisconsin
Mm-hmm.
from their spreads going up to where they should be. They should be laying a touchdown in this game. Nevada going to Purdue, who is like the toilet bowl of the Big Ten.
Ouch.
Yes, I said it. If you have a problem, you can reach me on Twitter, snsportsnews.com. The toilet bowl. I just called you. Just take Nevada money line. They're going to win that game. They're getting 4 points, but they're going to win that game.
All right.
Then the Boise State. I love Boise
Who
State.
they got this week? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh my gosh, Brett. You know what's funny is I can't remember.
I can't either.
Anyways, let's touch on something real quick. How about these overs on the West Coast at night? So one of my picks last week was the Hawaii and Arizona over,
Right.
which I actually sweated because I had to wait till the first play of the fourth quarter to get it. Right, that was tough.
You
But
like these to be done and over with by halftime?
No, yeah. I mean, if I
okay.
can get well, they got 52 in the first half, so I mean, I had a really good shot
Yeah.
at that point. Over under was 63, by the way, and I was upset because I only got 52 in the first half. But just watching these guys play, I mean, the Cal game,
That was
for example.
ridiculous.
I mean, they're just like throwing the ball like, incomplete. I mean,
That was
it's
the
just
longest
it's crazy
first half ever.
in history.
Yes. It was long.
Are you saying that because it was long, or was it literally the longest?
No, I don't know. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
okay.
Watching it, it was long.
I didn't hear
Just
that, but
And I'm just like,
excruciating, huh?
this is still the first half, and it's like 37-34.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, the
And
game was way over. I mean, the game went over like 8 minutes to go in the half. It was already over.
You know
for
what's
the game.
crazy is I checked in the second half, the app, and the over under in the in game app was 109.5.
What?
Yeah.
And it went over. Isn't that great? Hey,
Welcome
so
to college football.
I want to touch on one. I'm going to touch on one thing. Our friend David Miller,
Yes.
and we're going to go to semi-pro just for a second.
Well,
Scored
as soon
80
as you mention his name,
one. Well, just for the people that don't know who this guy is,
it instinctively goes to
SoCal
semi-pro.
SoCal Coyotes. They're reigning #1 developmental program. Not friends of ours, okay,
No, I wouldn't
but
say that.
not because it's anything personal. Yes, it's something personal, but
of course,
anyway,
it's personal.
86-0 they won. Okay,
Close one.
it was 86-0 with 4 minutes to go in the half.
First half?
First half, dude, they were punting the whole second half on first down, and won the game 86-0.
Why don't you just go home at halftime?
Dude, they had a running clock, and we're punting on first down, and the other team
how
couldn't
bad's
score.
the other team?
I'm
How bad's
that,
the team that you could be?
Okay, I just wanted to mention
in
that.
one half.
So if anyone wants to look these guys up, they've won 90-something. Now they haven't put up 100 yet,
Jeez.
They're trying.
but they will try to put
Hand your
100 on you.
uniforms
Oh,
in.
absolutely.
Okay, so pros, kind of mediocre for us this week.
Yeah, I just said that.
I'm glad that you
Tried
said
that.
mediocre.
I tried the parlay. I tried the
At 1 in 3, I wouldn't
16
consider that
6-point teaser, and I had them all but Jacksonville. Jacksonville decided not to show up in San Diego, and
They might not show up this week either.
yeah,
Well, the way Jacksonville played against Green Bay the previous week,
yeah.
you know, and the way San Diego played Kansas City the previous week, I'm thinking, you know, and they were getting 3.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, listen,
I teased it up 8.5, 9. I'm like, okay,
and
stay
you know,
within a
before I
touchdown.
knew it, it was 21-0
Yeah.
in San Diego. I'm going like, well, let's all sit tight. We know what they do with a 21-point lead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they
Jacksonville
decided
just
to keep
decided
it.
to turn the ball over all day.
Yeah, clearly the flight out to the West Coast put the zap on them
Yeah.
because they just didn't. Yeah, it didn't look like the same team at
No.
all.
Broders was awful.
Yeah, he
It
was
just
playing really bad.
terrible. So I was,
So any afternoon games that kind of stood out to you guys?
Well, let's start with the Rams.
the Rams.
Yeah, my LA Rams.
Man, the
won
game
their
was
home
not
opener.
good, but
Thanks to the officiating and also thanks to an inept offense on the part of Seattle.
yes, Seattle can't
Well,
score.
if you remember the last week's show, we were talking about the theory, my friend's theory, the lowest under and the highest over.
Yes.
Right?
So the lowest under was that game.
You're kidding.
Yeah, it was.
So
93 final.
your buddy's theory
Nice.
is.
Nice.
But the highest over
Didn't
was
go.
actually
Was that the Giants game?
it was the Giants game, which
Giants,
actually
Saints game.
lost. So that was
Yeah.
1-1. But in college it was 2-0, and in pro it was 1-1. So 3-1 for the
yeah,
weekend.
because college was it Texas Tech or the Cal game?
Texas Tech
Yeah,
was the highest.
yeah.
Yeah, we flew
Yeah,
over.
they're
again.
way over. They were in the 90s easy.
So score right now in Chicago 7-3, 7 minutes to go in the second.
Chicago.
I actually have a 5-team teaser riding. I got
Hinging on this game.
Chicago plus 3.5. I was thinking about hedging it, but I'm going to ride it out. The teaser that I had the other night, I sent to you guys.
Yes.
I told you I had one game left, which is the Lions money line. No, I'm sorry, that wasn't a teaser. That was a parlay.
Yeah.
I waited all the way until 7 minutes to go in the game to hedge, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
I actually got Tennessee plus 7.5 when the Lions were up by 5 and going in literally in field goal range before the sack.
Right.
In a game that the officiating took a huge control of the game. At one point of the game, they had a stat. I was listening to it on satellite radio because I was driving. 110 yards and penalties for Detroit. Mariota, 118 yards passing.
That's crazy.
I mean that's insane,
That's
right?
crazy.
They throw 3 flags on Detroit on scoring plays. Detroit loses the game by 1 point.
Right.
Being a Detroit fan, I already knew that I was going to lose.
Well,
I mean, I'm watching the game, and I'm like, I've seen them lose this way at least, like, and this is not exaggerating, 50 to 60 times in my life.
yeah. Well, Jason and I were at Aliante watching all the games,
Yep.
and you know, as it was unfolding, you know, I was thinking maybe I should call Jeff, pull him off the ledge. And then I got to thinking about it. I said, you know what? Knowing the way he thinks about these things, he's going to accept it. He just
kind of used to it.
Foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like being a
Yeah,
Browns
I knew it. I knew what was going on
It's
here.
like being a Browns fan, blowing a 20-point lead yesterday. So
Well, you're a Browns fan, though.
yeah, I know. I was waiting for it. I was just waiting for it. So I was waiting for that collapse, and it happened. So
Okay, so looking forward to next week. I mean, what do you think about Green Bay's dismal offense yesterday?
it's kind of shaky. I mean, because it's weird because they have everybody back.
Yep.
No one's hurt. I don't understand. They can't protect.
Well, they can't.
Right now.
They can't protect, but also the other thing I saw was the receivers couldn't get open.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
Minnesota's
having a
nice
really hard
defense.
time.
Very nice defense. Minnesota's, I think, top 3 defense in the league right now.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah.
A couple of fast corners, being able to lock down Jordy Nelson.
Yep. And that just, they just take away half the field.
Yep.
Those corners. So it's tough.
But looking at that, I have to go with the Lions next week. Plus the points, not a money line.
Where's that
They're
game?
not going to win the
Is
game.
it in Detroit?
No, in Green Bay.
No, it's in
They're not
Green
gonna
Bay.
win the game.
Because Green Bay plays 4
You have
games in
so
a row
little
at home.
faith,
Yeah.
Jeff. Come
Yeah.
on, man. Seriously. Really.
Yeah, they split the last like 4
was
seasons.
the
They
line?
split 8.5.
Oof.
So the other one is
Tease that down.
the Giants.
That one in.
The Giants playing Washington, who
Interesting.
to me arguably is the worst team in the league.
Interesting. No, I'm Cleveland.
Well, I mean, besides Cleveland, that's a
Okay,
given.
well, that's a good
Well, for a quarter, you mean you guys look really.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
first
all
quarter,
happened.
Just
you
a
guys could have
tease.
just called the game
Just
at
a
that, what,
tease.
20
20 to
Just a
2.
tease. It's just a tease. Home opener. Everybody's fired up.
You're our tribe.
20-0.
And then the other game I'm looking at is Pats plus 2.5 points. The thing about
the
the
Thursday night
Pats,
game.
yeah, the thing about the Pats is they have a statistic out. I looked at it this morning, 14-1, coming off a win as a home dog, 14-1 against the spread.
When are they ever a home dog?
14-1. It obviously happened 15 times.
I think Matt Castle was a quarterback last time.
Probably, yeah. Or Grogan. Steve
Bledsoe?
Grogan.
Bledsoe maybe.
Bledsoe. That'd be a good stat if they were ever a home dog.
See, the thing about the Patriots, and Bill and I have talked about this several times, is they have a system.
Yes.
So it doesn't really make a difference. They're going to put the players in the system. And, they obviously picked this kid up for a reason.
Yeah.
They pick these running backs up for the reasons, these receivers
They
for
put them on
reasons.
those practice squads,
Right.
and they just develop them,
Yes.
and then they use them,
Yeah.
and then they put them through the system, and the system works.
But the
It's
parts are
proven.
interchangeable.
Yeah.
The
Right.
system works.
Yep. That's why I think they're going to be a good play. And, a lot of people wrote off these first 4 games because of Garoppolo, and then they come back.
That line could change. I mean, because Jacoby Brissett's probably going to be the quarterback this
Well,
week.
now they say there's a
know.
possibility that Garoppolo might.
No, I heard he
might
was
be
out
back.
6 weeks.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, this thing is changing faster than.
I heard they're going to sign Peyton Manning. No, I'm just kidding.
They should sign Michael Vick.
So Michael Vick, yeah.
I'd like to see him play.
Oh, they go back to the well one too many times.
What about DeMarcus Russell?
Yeah, I don't know.
You got to pull him
gotta
away
figure
from the
out-
I heard he was
buffet.
making a comeback.
They got to figure out what long haul company he's working for.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, so anyway, check Twitter, Instagram. We'll have all our plays up. SNSportsNews.com.
By no later than Thursday morning.
Thursday morning.
Thursday
Pretty
morning,
solid
yeah.
that we
Yeah,
to get 'em
right
up
around there.
And I promise you, my picks will be better. They can't get
Right
any
now, I'm-
worse.
Well, the good
I'm
news
bad,
is
good, bad. So
with-
I have a good one coming up. So
the good thing about Bill's picks is if you take the other side, you have a solid
That,
day.
Really? I tell you.
I'm just kidding.
It's your
Bill.
friends that come at you that way. I'm sorry. Well, we're about ready to take our break at the bottom of the hour, and then we're going to change pace here. In fact, a rather large young man has come into the studio and is going to be our guest from Bishop Gorman. Jacob, is it Isaiah? Isaiah. I knew I would butcher it. I am terribly sorry. And then we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corp.com. We'll be right back. right, we are back. Round 2. Southern Nevada Sports News coming to you from Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corp.com. My name is Bill Miller, co-host along with
Jeff Belknap.
And Brett Price.
And we are fortunate to be joined by a young man, junior from Bishop Gorman High School, Jacob Isaiah.
It's great to be on here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And his father, Brett, is also in the house.
Hey, thanks for having me, too.
Hey, listen, well, thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule, and we know it's busy this time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to say the least. But we're very happy that you could join us. One of the things that we like to do here at Southern Nevada Sports News is to, focus on the prep sports here. And Las Vegas, for a town its size, happens to have 32 high schools, I believe.
Yep.
Which, if you took a drive around, you'd wonder how do they all fit in here, but they do. But one of the standout institutions here is Bishop Gorman High School, and a program that is literally a juggernaut as far as prep sports is concerned. I believe is your winning streak now 42 games or 43?
I think it's 44, 45.
You think it's 44 or 45? I
Bill,
would've
they
thought
must
that
not
number
talk
would
about it.
be
They
a
just keep winning.
42.
Just
I
keep
certainly don't want
winning.
to
Let
jinx
somebody
you.
else figure it out, right?
That's for sure. But, you guys are in that rare air, and one of the top prep programs in the United States.
Yep.
Certainly the top school in the state of Nevada.
Number
1 in the United States.
Yep.
So young man, thanks for joining us here. And, of course, Dad, thanks for joining us on the air as well. Believe it or not, we get a lot of dads who just simply bow out, want to sit on the side, and also do their own filming and that sort of thing. So, young man, first of all, what brought you to Bishop Gorman?
He was working in Hawaii, and the company that he was working for was starting to diminish.
Mm-hmm.
So we flew to Vegas for him and for me too, to get more exposure out there, to see for more college coaches to look at me more, especially. And we thought Bishop Gorman was perfect because I actually came from another private school in Hawaii too, so I fit real perfectly over there.
All right. Yeah. So obviously there's an adjustment here, weather-wise. To say the least. Let's get that one right out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But Las Vegas is actually considered the ninth island.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Found that out last weekend because you guys played a team from Hawaii last Saturday night.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Their best team, right? Their number 1 team in Hawaii, and they brought some people with them.
Yeah.
So and you guys handled them pretty well. 35-7, I believe it was. So what a great atmosphere. I heard it was over at Fertitta Field was a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then playing those big games has got to be like so exciting. And this is the reason why you go to Bishop Gorman is to play in those big games. And
In a college stadium.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's. I was over there for the Cocoa game, and I stood on the sideline, and I was the first time I've been to a game there, and I was just in awe of everything. So, and I watched. You stood out to me. You're number 75. I picked you right out. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, got a juggernaut offense. Led by Tate Martell at quarterback and.
Hey, where's he going to go to school?
He is going to the Ohio State University.
We knew he was
Yes.
going there.
gee, I wonder
So-
how another plug for the Ohio
Yes.
State.
So, by saying that, how you guys get college coaches rolling through there like crazy. What were you looking at possibly going after your senior year? Who's interested? What do you want to study? Things like that. So.
What I want to study is I kind of want to go into sports med, especially kinesiology, around that field. For college wise, it really doesn't matter location. I just want to have that good connection with the kids and the teachers and the coaches, especially, and just get a good education from there too.
Good.
Well, you saw the tweet that I put out this afternoon, so you know where I want you to go.
Yes, sir.
We know that Michigan breeds offensive linemen, so I think that'd be a good fit for you guys. I actually know some people over there, and being from Michigan, so
Yeah, well, you know me. I have some relatives from Michigan too.
Yes, that's right.
Actually, my on my grandma's side, it's actually split between Michigan and the other school.
The
Oh,
other-
really?
the
Okay,
other school.
okay.
All right, listen, we've talked about Big Ten in the East, and I just want to slide in a current resident here in Las Vegas, Jonathan Ogden, Hall of Famer. And I can't quite remember, where did he go to school? Where was it, Jeff?
UCLA.
UCLA, that is right. Offensive lineman, one of the best tackles to ever play the game.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out.
Have you met him?
No, I don't think I've met him
Very
yet.
good guy.
yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
miss him.
Yeah, he's
He's a house.
yeah, he is a big man. So, Dad, what do you think about the Bishop Gorman program and the coaches and everything that the tradition of Bishop Gorman that's going on over there?
Well, it's obviously unbelievable. So you go from your very first game or his first game playing in Texas, which is the hotbed of high school football, and you're on ESPN2, and they bring about 10,000 fans. And
Oh, yeah.
it was a close game, and then it's gut wrenching for them, obviously, but it's us, the fans. We're just in awe and anxious about what's happening, and they roll off that win, and then you go, okay, next week you got Florida, and then okay, they're good, and then that goes wild, and then last week we travel over to California. We played the third ranked team in the nation,
Yep.
in
Yep.
St. John Bosco.
St. John Bosco, yeah.
And
Great game.
that just happens to
Very
be on
good
Fox
game.
Sports West, and
Yes, it was.
and that one was considered by some the game of the decade. And then the very next week, you got 4,000 Hawaii fans coming
Yeah.
for Kahuku and the Sea of Red, and then they win that game, and then it's in a matter of 2 weeks they'll be on ESPN again.
St.
playing
Thomas
St.
Aquinas
Thomas
comes to
Aquinas.
town.
So
Yeah.
it's obviously amazing. It's just been awesome football. The coaches are amazing. The facilities are great. The players are great. So I just think it's been a real good move for our family and for Jacob. And we just appreciate you guys having us on and talking about high school football. I love high school football, and I can talk about it all day.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. You can go play Saturdays, you can go play Sundays, but that Friday night, when all your classmates are in the stands cheering for you and you're coming out. Do you guys have smoke? I can't remember if you guys come out to the smoke.
got the smoke, they got the
yeah, all
helmet.
that
Oh, my
stuff.
goodness.
So if
Oh,
I got
it's
this,
awesome.
if I got this right,
Yeah.
you were Michigan, you were Michigan State.
No,
you're
I'm Ohio
Ohio
State,
State, and
yeah.
you're a UCLA guy.
Yep.
So Jacob has visited all three of those schools. So,
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
what
and
I'm
he's
talking
getting
about.
mail from UCLA. And actually, I'm his stepdad. So his father actually played with Jonathan Ogden at UCLA.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
they played in the NFL together. So that's a good thing.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So and then for Michigan, we visited Michigan and we had a really good visit there. And at Ohio State, not only Tate's going to Ohio State, but Haskell Garrett,
Yep.
who's also from Hawaii, and Jacob and him are good friends.
Yep.
He's good.
And I think they have another who's
Tinsley.
and Tyjon Lindsey is going to be
Yep.
attending Ohio State. So
He's good too. Good
he,
player.
he's quiz. Yeah, he's all right.
He's
And
a little water bug.
so I mean, as crazy as it sounds, we've played 4 nationally ranked teams, and we've missing 2 of our best players in
Yeah.
some of those games. So look out. They're hopefully be back for St. Thomas, and I know our coaches will get the boys ready. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's awesome.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, the one thing I think you should always, concentrate on, just make this, a fun experience for you. You're only going to have this experience once in your lifetime. Enjoy the ride.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, how do you like Bishop Gorman attending as a student per se?
At first I kind of struggled a little bit, especially learning how the academics roll and also athletics. I mean, it was just a huge transition.
Yeah.
The type of plays you run is just like out of this world, and it's
Pretty
like,
exotic.
It's a college program,
Yeah.
basically, is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing. It was just hard, and it was good, and I had help from a lot of my teammates, and even in the school, my teammates, they helped me like talk to other kids and help me become popular
Help you
with.
fit in.
Yeah,
Yep.
fit in. Yeah,
Yep. Help
pretty
you fit in
much,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what's it, it's what's nice about it. It's kind of a family over there. I know a lot of the basketball guys, Grant Rice and those guys over there. So they're great people that are in that organization, in that school system, to say. So yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, and going over there and just fitting in over. So.
Do you also play basketball?
Not in a while.
Not in a while.
Yeah, I haven't played basketball in a while.
A couple years.
Well, they have a pretty high octane program
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
Well, Brett's was assistant coach
at Finley Prep, yeah.
for a long
So-
time. That's how we met. Doing some stuff together at Finley Prep, and so he's very familiar.
Yep.
With the Gorman
With
guys.
that, we have a rivalry with Bishop Gorman and the basketball part of things. So.
Yeah.
But football's like my first love. So I love going over there and watching you guys play. And what I noticed about you is you have great feet for a lineman. Not really that long of arms for a tackle, but your feet are just amazing. What are college coaches saying? What do you need to improve on? What's your strengths? Things like that. So.
I think I've had mixed like reactions. Some have said looked at me as like going in as like a D end or
Okay.
a outside linebacker.
That's scary.
Yeah, and but others, they see me as a guard
Okay.
or center, but they're really looking into how I develop as a person.
Okay.
That's what they all kind of seem to like tell me, that you don't you have like size,
Mhm.
you're gonna
The
build
frame,
up.
Yeah.
Like my dad is my real dad is 6'5", I think over 300.
Okay.
So
Yeah, he played at 315.
yeah, I played at
Played at
315.
so you're definitely still growing.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What do you weigh right now? About 255?
260.
260. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. Put that frame, more weight on that frame.
Looking at us on film, man, I guess I need to go on a diet or something. Jeez, I'm not really 260.
So you mentioned his footwork, and you mentioned basketball. So back in 7th grade, Jacob did play basketball. And then in the spring, there was no sports for him. So I put him in volleyball in 7th grade, and within a couple of years, he actually made the national team as a volleyball
Oh,
player.
no,
Nice.
Wow.
So his footwork and his coordination, I think, comes a little bit from that.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
needless to say, the volleyball coach at Gorman would really want him to play, but the football coach says he needs to bulk up. So, so there was no volleyball this year. But I think the footwork is good. I mean, he has a 36-inch vertical for a
Oh,
lineman,
that's
and he
big
runs a
time.
4.940.
Oh, big time.
So
again.
he can move,
So-
like you mentioned, his
Yeah.
footwork.
Yeah.
So,
he, I
Man,
know,
he'd
I
have you
stood out.
chasing me, that's for sure.
Stood out. So.
that coordination and the size that he has is good, and I think a lot of coaches are looking at that. And as of September 1st, he was actually able to start reaching out to some of these coaches. And he's been who's been reaching out to you?
I've been talking to coaches have been sending me handwritten letters
Yeah.
now. But I've been texting to Washington State, Nebraska, Colorado, just a lot of schools.
Right, you get bombarded right
It's-
now
it's
because the
getting tough
new
to keep
text
up
thing
with 'em,
came
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this fall. So yeah, they can contact you through those avenues now. So yeah, just
So let me narrow it down for you. Go Blue.
That was a good comeback. yesterday.
I'm actually gonna stay on you on that one. I'm gonna make sure you
Blue and gold.
one thing though with the recruiting part of things, me being around Finley Prep and the recruiting process a lot, and you're obviously a high major kid, player wise, and you seem like a good kid as well. The one thing is, I just give you a little advice. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to these coaches when they're trying to hit you up all the time. And you got to be a kid. You got priorities as far as school wise, practice. I know that takes up a lot of time, and you got to be social. You got to have spend time with your friends, and it's okay to say no. We always tell our kids it's okay to say no. They're still going to be there, but it's you run your recruitment. So I just just a little bit of advice on that.
Yeah, thank
So,
you.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
So
That's great. Thank you.
it is okay to say no though.
This is a guy that coached Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who else?
Cleveland Cavaliers.
I've coached 10 pros, 10 guys that
Wow.
are in the NBA.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and sent 56 on to Division I scholarships. So, yeah, you learn the ins and the outs and the goods and the bads of the whole process, and you want it to be enjoyable for everybody, your family, everyone. So, that was just my little. I'm off the soapbox now. So,
Well, one thing I want to mention about Nevada football is, we're talking about Bishop Gorman a lot, but I'm glad that this year Liberty has
Yes.
actually been
Yes.
picking it up. I don't know, they
yeah.
went down to Texas,
Yep.
won a very big game,
win.
and this weekend they play Centennial in California, and they are a ranked team. So I know years past, what kind of hurt Gorman was not having the competition here within the state. And so, I'm rooting for Liberty all the way. If they can go to California, win that game, they'll be
Yes.
nationally ranked. And how cool will that be if we play in the championship and they're
Both
ranked in the
undefeated?
top 10 and we're undefeated, we're ranked in the
Yes.
top 10, and that'd
That'd
be
be
just
absolutely-
awesome.
that'd be
Absolutely awesome,
awesome.
for Nevada football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially Southern Nevada football.
Yeah.
The question-
Liberty winning a big game last week also.
Yeah, they beat
against Desert
Desert Pines.
Who is a good school. Very quality program.
Mm-hmm.
And they obviously wanted to pull that game out because beating Liberty would be a huge step for them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But just watching the way these programs are developing and putting kids in college more than anything else. To me, is winning games is great, but what are you doing for these young guys and getting their education and moving them forward? DP is doing a great job.
They really have. That program has really changed over the years.
Absolutely.
And we've had a couple of the young men from DP.
And next week we'll have another one.
Yeah, and one of which who is already settled in now. In what's it, New Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so he should be contacting us soon about his first foray as a freshman.
He had his first win last week. So,
Yeah.
He's pretty happy.
So I think right now we're last on his list of priorities. Yeah, so.
That's right. Yeah, but that's all right because what we're always about is creating a platform for you guys also. So we felt like when we created our show that there was a lot of missing parts and getting guys some exposure. So that's why you're here with us, and I appreciate you guys coming on. more than
Especially
anything.
the linemen.
It's great because they're
The unsung heroes.
the running backs get the credit, the quarterbacks get the credit. Where's the lineman? Come on.
It's the guys in the pit.
I grew up. I was a quarterback, and I appreciated the linemen. So did my mom. So so she would always have. I would always have the linemen over on Wednesday nights for dinner. Does Tate Martell do that for you guys? Do I need to talk to this guy?
No, he's treated us before. It's okay.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, he's definitely got to take care of you guys up front, man, because you guys are the glue. You guys are definitely the glue, and it's such an integral part. The 5-man that have to work together for one certain play. I love that aspect of football is the line play. So, who's your line coach? Do you is he very technical on things, or is he? I know you guys run the zone option read and things like that. So I'm sure it's pretty interesting coaching wise. How is that with the coach?
Our coach is actually our lifting coach, so
Ooh.
he incorporates lifting within our technique,
Nice.
That's a shocker.
especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a really good coach, Coach Manny.
Okay.
He's he really helped us, especially. We were struggling in the preseason. We had only 2 returners, and our center, our left guard, and our right tackle are new, and so we were just like trying to learn the play still and trying to get used to playing against like big guys
Yeah.
and technical, really good guys.
Yeah.
And he helped even explain how to do the plays too. We went through actually we just had a 2-hour film before this, going over what was wrong technically. Even though the play looked great and
Right.
awesome,
Even though it's a successful play,
Yeah.
it could be better,
Mhm.
type of thing. Yeah.
That's good.
So how? I just lost my train of thought. Road there. So
Well, I know that Ali has appreciated you guys also. I mean, I was watching some of the holes you blew open for him too, and it's like I could actually got 6.
yeah, and he's pretty quick, so you don't have to hold too long. So that's good. That's another good thing there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you guys run a college program, over there. So that coaching staff is just putting you that much more ahead when you do go to the next level. I mean, you're going to be able to play right away, because of the stuff that you guys do over there. So
Yeah, and it's not just the plays. Like we always wake up early. Like right after Fridays, Saturdays we wake up at 9. We go over film, and then sometimes we might go through walkthroughs for the next game and stuff like that. And we just kind of do what not a lot of other schools do.
you guys have a culture.
Yes,
You guys
sir.
have a culture over there. So
And you have a weight room.
yeah, it's just a little bit.
Very large weight room.
Yeah.
It's a big one. It's actually nicer than UNLV's weight room. I've actually been in their weight room, and
It's
there's-
actually nicer than about half of the universities
Yeah.
he's visited. And I love UCLA, but it's nicer than UCLA's right now.
right.
Although
Oh, but by
UCLA,
the time he's ready
He's
to
not
go,
donating. He's not donating
yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
they're building a new facility at UCLA, but so that'll be it. But then UNLV also is getting a new facility,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
really nice.
That's awesome
Yep.
for Tita family.
Yeah.
$10 million.
Yes.
What a blessing. to
Unbelievable.
us.
You're
not kidding.
UNLV.
We've visited a couple of times. We're in communication with Coach Sanchez, and I think we might actually go to the game this Saturday and go check it out.
14-point favorites, by the
Against
way.
Idaho.
Against Idaho.
They should win.
So yeah, I mean, he had mentioned something about building a fence around the Las Vegas
Yeah.
talents. I think he sent you a text to that effect or something. So he might have a little interest in Jacob. So.
Yes, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does.
Well, I think that Coach Sanchez has a very good opportunity to develop a lot of these kids and keep them home. And I still say go to Michigan, but
Wow.
I'm going to stick with that one. Not
Got-
Ohio State.
got some allies over there.
Cut his mic. Cut his mic.
Well, I mean, you being from Michigan and Ohio State, his grandfather actually was an All-American at Michigan State, and he actually played in that big game that they just had an anniversary of. I don't know if you guys are familiar
Oh,
with
the
the
game of
50th
century.
anniversary.
Yep.
He was actually an All-American fullback in that game
Oh, no
in the
kidding.
10-10 tie.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And the funny story is he actually ended up with the game ball in that game.
Oh, yeah.
And
fantastic.
donated it back to the school a couple of years ago. But yeah,
cool.
so he was actually here this past weekend and wearing his Michigan State, jacket and the whole thing, and egging him on to be a Michigan State guy. So
It's okay to say no.
I have to agree with Brett on that.
he's
one.
getting pulled everywhere. Yeah.
well, with family, in on this as well. Yeah, I'm just kind of seeing our odds kind of slowly working their way down. We just have a little more than a minute, and I'd like to, first of all, again, thank you so much for the two of you coming
Absolutely.
in, because we know how busy your schedule is. But it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, young man. And I hope you really not only enjoy the process, but you have a spectacular junior and senior year, because we're definitely going to keep an eye on you. We've got some video on you that's going to be part of this show. And again, thank you so much for coming in. Dan, thank you for actually being on the show. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks a
Jacob
lot.
Isaiah and Isaiah?
Isaiah.
Isaiah and his
And
father
Brett.
Brett, for joining us this week on the Southern Nevada Sports News Show. And of course, Brett, Jeff, as always, thank you.
Appreciate it.
And Jeff, where can folks find our picks for this week's games?
snsportsnews.com and also on Twitter, SN Sports News.
All right, another quick shout out to George. Hope you feel better and are with us next
Definitely,
week.
Georgie, get
Join
better.
us next Monday for another edition of Southern Nevada Sports News, coming to you from Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corp.com. Have a great week.
God bless.